My name is Phillip Wight. I'm running for Haywood County Commissioner. I've been married for over 26 years, been self-employed for over 28 years as a heating contractor and a local motel owner. My political experience consists of a two-term Maggie Valley Alderman, which we've actually reduced sewer rates, we've reduced spending, we've paid off debt early. We've also at one time enacted a 3 cent per hundred tax cut to benefit the people, and all the while not taking any benefits away from our great town employees. And if elected to be your representative for Haywood County, I'd hope to bring that kind of experience to the taxpayers. I don't believe, and then that's a long question, but I don't believe we should have probably enacted the revenue neutral tax. I also believe that, knowing that I was in government, that we really reevaluate property based on state standards 2 years early. So we didn't have to do that knowing there was an election coming and our values were down. So it probably wasn't a good idea. But the tax rate, there would not have been a tax increase. The other thing is we spend a lot of tax dollars to advocate against bullying from grade school to high school, and it seems our government has taken upon itself to bully certain positions in the Haywood County government. There's no way you should ever be falsely accused in our government or have the power of government turned against you. And I think that would have stayed out of the paper. Certain tax collector comes to mind. Kavanaugh comes to mind at a higher level of government. But you just should never have to fight off the power of government when they're coming up on you and not letting you do your job. The same as hopefully the experience to bring Maggie Valley back up is pay off debt, just bring a conservative approach and be accountable. If we overspend by $2 million, I think it's the people's right to know. I think public access to your public information should also be available. You shouldn't have to change your policy based on one man asking questions. I also would advocate very strongly to shop local. Anytime we can buy local from our local vendors, whether it's at the school board level or even here at the Smoky Mountain News, we shouldn't be outsourcing across state lines if we can do it right here and spend our money local. I don't think it's a bad thing at the Haywood County level, but for me, Republicans is my grandfather's Democrats today, based on just how we treat people and try to help people. But if you look at the federal level, I'm not sure I would want to be a Democrat. I mean, we're talking about against police officers. I mean, look at the hatred and look at open borders. And so on the local level, but if you're not willing to listen and have an opportunity to vote for who you want and who sends a better message, I think I've never liked the word either one. I like the word conservative more than either. A true Republican today is a conservative person, and I do think the board would lean that way, even in its hiring practices could help, which helps the community. We're not taking anything away from EMS. I mean, what's a life worth? We love our public service people. I mean, I think we ought to look in to make sure Haywood County, our Haywood County police officers need some extra money. I do believe we're almost at poverty level on their entry-level positions as they're working. So it's not about taking away, but it's also having a conservative approach and being accountable to the people. When that time comes, you always look at an opportunity to give back to taxpayers, hopefully, and just in the name of a tax cut. What you don't do is take that excess money and create new departments inside your government, whether it be a green energy department or whether it be just something not necessarily frivolous, but you try to keep that money and keep it accountable. And if there's an opportunity to give back to the masses, you would. And you come up with also policies that help people. You know, we're getting ready to drop emissions testing. I ran 6 years ago, and that was my pet peeve, was emissions testing. Well, I've never lost sight of that being elected in Maggie Valley, and Michelle Presnell hasn't either. And that's almost coming to fruition because that type of policy helps medium income and below, because it's really seems useless. Haywood County municipalities, I think, pretty much do stand alone. I think there are always opportunities, especially at when we say the word government level. But a couple of years ago, we were dealing with potential water shortage between EMS. If it can save money and not lose services, there's definitely opportunities where we all need to be working together. But for the most part, we need to allow them to stand alone. But if there's opportunities such as water shortage between the EMS, even policing, because we all borrow each other's when we need extra manpower between even Christmas parades or in the event of emergency, we all come together as a community. So there's times where we have to have that networking, but for the most part, our municipalities are standing alone, and I think we have a good network of government at that level. Not knowing the inner workings of it on the shell, on the outside looking in, I think it sounds ridiculous when we're talking about always keeping an open mind and always communicating. I think we can communicate at that level as long as as long as there's not any Haywood County tax dollars going from here to fund a bigger municipality that needs us worse than we need them. Our market's here. How quick do you want it to grow? I think they're out of inventory when it comes to maybe housing. We need some flatter land for bigger industry, but you're always keeping an open ear and an open dialogue for something bigger or better to come along, hopefully high-paying jobs. But to say that we have to network and possibly meet with them and put money into their coffers to market Haywood County, that would be a no for me. I think it is a negative. I would just like to ask Haywood County taxpayers to vote for Phillip Wight for the same nature that I hopefully have got a proven record in Maggie Valley. I believe in your property rights. I believe in your rights to keep your guns. I believe in open government. I believe in being fair to the taxpayer as well as the government. It's kind of like a people first for me.